I mean, 50 grand's not that much money considering, is it?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's Thomas podcast. I'm, of course, joined by your regulars, Beef, Oshan, and John. And this week we're reviewing The Rescue, which, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see by John's kind of black and white look and the background there.
And I've got a
Um,
big cock Killian behind me.
yes. Of course, obviously, as well, we've got some other stuff that's going on. But first of all, how are we, guys? Almost at the end of February. Got through. I actually had pancake day this year, actually. I thought, fuck it,
Hey.
I'm gonna do some pancakes. So I made my own pancakes. They weren't great, but in terms of a first ever attempt at doing them, they were edible, and I didn't get ill afterwards. So like,
You
Did
made
you flip them?
oh yeah,
you made edible pancakes.
no,
Oh,
no,
oh yes.
only sugar and lemon on mine, my friend. No extra substances. But no, that was good. Obviously Valentine's Day was a thing. Everyone have a good Valentine's Day? Yay.
Valentine's Day wasn't a thing for me.
Even me, mate. Oshan, tell us, what did you get up to?
I mean, it was the release of Tomb Raider Trilogy once a free remastered. So
It
I spent
was.
Valentine's Day with Lara.
I spent it with my hand. No, I'm joking.
Mrs. Beef and I are too old to be worried about silly things like that.
Oshan, do you even celebrate Valentine's Day? Because obviously you have
we
Welsh, we have Welsh ones. Do
we
you
did
even
the
do
Welsh
this?
one because everything else is every like food place is cheaper, so we just went for food then. And then we for actual Valentine's Day we went to see a romantic film which is Les Mis, the depressing Hugh Jackman and fucking Russell Crowe
Oh,
can't sing for
my name is
shit.
Jabber.
Yeah,
But it's
and it
still
was
not.
like, it was
It's
good
still
though.
not.
I do enjoy
It's
the
still
film.
not the. It's
People
still not
say
the
Russell Crowe
worst.
for that. I actually think that Russell Crowe is perfect for that role.
It's still not the worst singing in a musical in the past
You're
like
really
15
not
years.
supposed to like Javert, and he makes him very unlikable.
He
Um,
does. I'll give him that.
Shout out to Piers Brosnan in Mamma Mia for the worst singing in any musical to ever
Fine
exist.
again. Fucking kill
Yeah,
that frog.
yeah.
Sorry to our sorry to our LGBTQ fans, but I have to confess, never actually sat and watched Mamma Mia.
It's some bangers, but like you can just listen to the originals and they are better. It's just the fact.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's like any jukebox musical. Like, why would you want to see people that are not the original artists sing these songs in a very loose narrative that isn't very well written, when you can literally just go to listen to the songs by the
Yeah.
original artists and it's 10 times better.
yep.
Again, sorry to the gays, but
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
that's what I did enjoy Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys is very
But yeah, apart from that, anybody about to anything exciting? It's been 2 weeks. At least someone's done something.
good. I'm a little bit depressed actually, that's because I've done nothing, and I've very much missed Galley One over the last few weekends, and the last weekend, a few days, because obviously that's been going on over the weekend, and been seeing lots of friends and acquaintances having a great time, and I was like, I wish I was there.
I did very well just to switch off from it. Obviously, I was in contact with our friends who were there, but I very much just didn't.
Yeah,
I actually,
I've missed it. I'm like, you know what? By hook or by crook, I'm getting my ass back out there next year and every year from now on that it runs, because I can't go through not being there again.
Mm.
And like people, a few people have actually said, you know what, we missed you too. And you know, I know Beast in a similar situation. People have been like, yeah,
Yeah.
we really missed you this weekend.
Yeah. Had a few messages, and it was my good friends at Cutaway Comics even gave me a shout out of their panel, which was very nice
Yes.
to hear. So yeah.
So
nice.
it's
Although I must confess, of all the pictures that I've seen, I've not seen a single bloody one of Brian Croucher fucking smiling, which has absolutely made my week, to be honest with you.
he is
'Cause-
somebody that I would love to meet, because you know, not only is he obviously Borg from Robots of Death, which is an absolute banger of a story, but he is also Ted Hills from EastEnders, and by all means, you know, from a friend of ours that I know has met him and had a chat with him and stuff, has quite a colourful past with some interesting stories to tell.
Well, yeah, obviously buzzing for you that your plan is to go back. I think I've come to peace that I might not do it again.
Mate,
I'm
I just, you know what? I was like, going into this weekend, I was like, yeah, we've been talking about 2026 and I really want to do 2026, but now I'm like, you know what? I want to fucking go next year and I want to go the year after, and I just don't want to miss another one.
Oh, I'm glad you got that bug. I think
It's
even
not,
this
you know, it's
weekend.
not just a convention. It's the camaraderie of it. It's being out there with your buddies and just having a good time. And
It's the vibing, man. Yeah.
yeah, it is genuinely unlike anything else in the world. It's unlike any convention that you get in this country because it's obviously majority Americans and the vast majority are British Doctor Who fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think like that first time was so good that like if it doesn't happen again, it doesn't happen. And like there are other
Right.
places I want to go. And like, we had such a good time the first time. Not saying it can't be that good again, but like if I didn't go, who knows? But we'll never say never.
It's
I think
it's always
if you did
interesting,
it again,
Juno.
I think if you did it again, you would do it learning the lessons from the first time, and it would make it even smoother and even better.
Yeah. Also, fuck you. I didn't get any messages, so I ain't coming back. No, I'm kidding. I ain't been on Twitter. I ain't been messaging anyone, so I wouldn't expect to get any.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure the good people of Accessible Uber missed you.
Yeah, no, I was giving them good money. We were like giving them good money, We were
Yeah.
there. We were doing it.
And
But
I'm sure the ladies of the red light district too.
oh no, the ladies of the red light district. No, the one person that's missing us is that one old man that Arshad was quite discreet with on the streets of Amsterdam.
Oh,
I
no.
was talking about LA.
Oh, is there a red light district in LA?
There's a red light district.
There's
in
a lot-
every
just
major
a lot of
city in the
places.
world.
I had no idea.
I mean,
Yeah.
clearly you've not seen some of Connor and Callum's photos.
Mate, like I say, I've been off social media for the past few days, so I've not really been looking. But yeah, obviously I saw that Shooty Gatwa sent them a message.
Oh, that was cool.
That was really cool. Obviously, I think in the past few years, I think we were the only year to kind of not get anything like from like on the set at the time. I think that for the past few years, I know Elijah said that they had some stuff. So obviously
Yeah, I
the
mean,
Disney
obviously
deal
there
as
was
well, it's
kind of-
made it even sweeter.
We were there with the sort of transition over to Disney and stuff. So
Hmm.
I think obviously that although there were Disney execs there last year, it was a little bit sort of like,
Wanting to see what they bought.
yeah, we're testing the water. We're not going to give people any exclusive content, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like it's obviously at that point everything was a lot more secretive as well.
Yeah.
So now they're
Everything was
Yeah,
on bloody
but, you know,
lockdown.
but then we did. I mean, then again, the people there this time didn't get to spend an hour drinking on Thursday night with Chris Chibnall.
Well,
But whereas three of the four people in this particular podcast did.
I think as the years go on as well, maybe that sort of thing will probably increase because there's going to be that more, Disney involvement. Certainly with the distribution, which is what the deal is. So
Yeah.
They'll just go for greater exposure, and yeah, you'll probably get more of that.
Yeah, but John's more drafted on it. But yeah, a lot of Big
I mean,
Finish news that came out of it.
Alex, there laughing at the phrase "greater exposure."
Yeah.
What are we? 12?
no, I didn't. I was laughing more at something else. It wasn't you, don't worry. I'd misread something that I was
Tell the
reading.
class, Alex. What were we?
No,
laughing at?
I shall not. I can't do it.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for the rest of us.
I can't do it. It won't be able to go in. So it's no. I'll tell you afterwards.
It won't be able to go in. Not the first time you've said that.
Not the first time, and certainly not the last.
But anyway, moving swiftly on. Yes, so there were also some announcements. Big Finish made some announcements. They've announced Dark Gallifrey, which is going to be 24 stories over the next 4 years. Looking at the website, it looks like 8 trilogies, and it's going to be covering the kind of Renegade and Rogue Time Lords, so things like Morbius, your Monk, and stuff like that. Which would be.
Are they adding any new ones, or is it like just the classic?
I mean, it'll be stuff they've already got a license for. They've got a license for everything up until Power of the Doctor now. So they could theoretically include Spy Master. They could theoretically include Tactium.
But
I didn't know Jared Leto was involved.
But it will. It will.
Yeah,
the website's updated to say we can do anything that's Power of the Doctor, but it is probably going to be largely focused on stuff they've already established. So things like Morbius, things like the War Master and stuff like that. You know?
And they've given out release dates finally now for the Sausage One sets and the
Indeed, January, February of next year for Fugitive Doctor and Spy Master.
yeah.
Amazing, because those were announced ages ago, weren't they? And it's
They
kind
were.
of been a bit on hold, so it's been nice to kind of get those out.
And they've been finished for a while. But
Yeah.
I think again, it kind of the politics of who's running the show, etc. It's kind of had to be on hold because of the fact that they've really wanted to do this kind of reboot with David and now Shooty. Obviously, Shooty will have a series under his belt by the time this comes out.
Yeah,
So,
they don't want to split focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Apart from that, I don't think there's any more news in the grapevine. I think it's been quite quiet, quite chill.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's go on swiftly to Triple Threat, because that's how easy this thing works. Right, this is really set up. I was telling the guys beforehand, right? Everyone should know the answer to this bare minimum. Whoever gets it first doesn't matter. Like, you should all know the answer. Yeah, so what I'm going to do this week is I want you to buzz in. If it's a noise, I'll hear it. Then you can say the answer. Because I think all three of you are going to be quite quick at the same time. So I'm going to let...
So how do you want us to buzz?
I just make a sound. Any sound you want can be as
ludicrous. And the sound just be the answer?
No. Otherwise you have to say it. No. Okay. Here we go. This is very simple. I can't... What is part 2 of the story called? There's no way.
I literally looked at this.
This is there's no. I thought this was the easiest sort of thing to go. It's not.
Shit, I literally looked at this, and I'm now watching the others to see if anybody's reading a bloody screen and cheating.
Doesn't look like it to me. Also, they get it this late in the game. They'd be like, kind of obvious.
The Rescue.
It's
part
not.
2.
Let John have a go.
It's something like destruction imminent or something like that, but I
Close. You got the right amount of words correct. Do you two will have a go just for the shits? What funny titles can you think of?
Osian's already had a go. He already said The Rescue Part 2.
That doesn't count. He's taking the joke.
Well, how comes that doesn't count, but mine does?
Because that was like a genuine guess. This was a joke answer. Take a guess, Osian. Go on. Any 2 words put together.
Well, you're giving him clues.
I'm putting 2 words here. That's not a clue. That's just how it works.
Well, it is, because he could have said 4 or 5.
The Escape.
No. Beef?
Dildo Show.
It's cool. Yeah, that's closer. It's Desperate Measures.
Ah.
I mean, I'd say mine was closer.
Yeah. Well.
What was the first one?
I literally got the first 3. The first ones. I literally something like The Magnificent Enemy. I literally got the first 3 letters.
Well, he had the word dildo in it, so
yeah.
He wins.
Which is nearly the name.
Do you know what? Actually, Beef, you get a half point for creativity. Fuck it.
Nearly the name of the planet.
Beef is on a half point. Beef's on a half point.
Well, that's it. Because the other thing is, you got to remember how many space hours away were there from rescue ship? 69.
No,
Yay!
59.
I thought it was 69.
No. 59 away.
And that was me. I hear what I want to hear.
You hit the 9 at the end.
59 away. It would have been 17 hours before they could next message, and it was 550 years. That she said that Barbara and Ian were about 550 years old, and the story was set in the year 2492.
Yeah.
These are the things that you remember.
So the scores after this week are John on 3, Beef on a half point, and Osian has none.
Sorry to pull you up, Alex, but you've given me an extra point there. I'm on 2.
Okay, John on 2 points, Beef on a half point, and Osian on none. Right, synopsis time. The Doctor, Ian, and Barbara arrive on the planet dildo. Fuck, I said dildo. Why do I think it's Dido?
Hey!
Fuck it. Arrive on the planet dildo. They find a crashed. They find a crashed spaceship. There are only 2 survivors, which are terrorized by the monster. I don't know how you fucking say this.
Coquillion.
Coquillion, thank you. But who is the Coquillion? It didn't say the cock, but I wanted to put the cock in. Who is it? Doesn't even have a question mark at the end of it. It's a full stop. Bad grammar there from the website. Right, Lance. Rescue. two parts. Obviously, Beef, first Doctor Who is your favourite, so I'm going to save you to the end, as I normally do
on.
with. I'm actually going to go first. It's a rare Kingdom hasn't seen this. This is a statement I put on this right now. I think this is the most middling episode we have ever reviewed in the past year. I think it's absolutely fine. I think that's exactly how I feel. It's just okay. Nothing about it is remotely that interesting. They basically went, fuck, we need to replace Susan. And they were like, we'll have the same character, but she's a better actor and can do the same sort of shit. Then we'll build a story around that. You've got Ian and Barbara into the first part for 20. The first part doesn't need to exist. The first part for the first 15 minutes, them going in the TARDIS, out the TARDIS, back. The Doctor goes, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go back in the TARDIS. Then Ian and Barbara get into some shit, so the Doctor has to leave the TARDIS. Then the second part's all right, but it's mostly them just sat in a room going, we need to wait for this man to open the door. And then they realise the runtime's going down. It's like, oh, what would have find out what's going to be on the door? And it's like, oh, he was the enemy all along. It's fine. It's fine. It's harmless. It's short. Everyone's doing the best of what they have. It's just fine. I have nothing really wrong with it. It just didn't excite me at any point. I watched it. I thought that didn't. I wasn't sat there going, this is dog shit. But I wasn't sat there going, oh, that bit was really good. Who wants to go next?
Uh,
You made a
I'll go
noise, Osh, so
next.
you'll go next.
First ever William Hart episode. I thought it was fine. I thought it was. There were moments that I just wasn't that I wasn't that concentrated. There was stuff just going on, but then on the other hand, I think there are really good moments of this. I think the stuff with Susan right at the beginning of the first episode was,
Susan.
yeah, the fact that
she's not in it.
Yeah, but the fact that he asks for her and she's not there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like, oh shit, are you okay? I love that bit. I thought that was really cool. Then because I was wondering, I was like, because this is the first story after Dalek Invasion of Earth. So obviously she's not in it anymore. So it's they have to kind of make a staple, of this is the first one. So yeah, I thought that was good. And then by there were parts in the first part that I was like, and then the second part came along, and I thought that the twist and everything to do with kind of the middle ground of the second part and onwards, I really enjoyed. I thought the twist was pretty good. Yeah, I didn't really see it coming.
As soon as they get in the spaceship, I think it picks up quite good. It's just, I remember I did put a note of, oh, the Doctor's in this, by the middle part of the second bit, because he just arrives at the spaceship door and he's like, I'm now in the plots.
I do enjoy, something I really did enjoy was, I didn't know that Vicky was going to be in there. I didn't know this is how she was introduced. So, but I did enjoy the part where, especially when the Barbara and Ian were introducing everything to her. I thought that was cool. And I did like that even though Susan's gone, the Doctor still had that grandfather asked to look after Vicky. Do you know what I mean?
Because again, one of my notes was Vicky is Susan, but better. That is how I would describe it. Yeah, I agree with you. The best thing about this actually is the chemistry between the three companions. Whenever they're on screen together, it's fantastic. Yeah. John, want to go next?
Yeah, I think this is better than fine, actually. Obviously it's got a job to do, it's got to introduce a new companion. It does that perfectly. It's a rare example where the fact that a classic Doctor Who wants to look shit can actually be part of the plot. Because they're like, oh well, it looks shit because that man's just made it up in a fucking weird costume. I mean, you say it's harmless, does kind of play into that trope that disabled people are just pretending and disabled people are evil. But we can look past that.
It was the 60s.
Bennett sets my nonce detector off.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I've killed all the people on this planet except for this young girl who I'm going to stay here with. And it's like, yeah, all right, mate. Audio description describes Vicky beautifully when she first appears on screen. He just calls her a young woman with a short skirt. Which I was like, yeah, fine. Want to go into any further fucking detail on that, or But no, I really like this one, and I think this is one where for first time viewers, I think it works really well. Works really well, sort of not knowing the twist, not knowing what to expect. Yeah, it does the job. Obviously it's going to get you from A to B. It does it very economically. The chemistry of the four leads in particular is fantastic.
Beef.
Hartnell bosses it in this one. Yeah,
it's very good, isn't it?
The planet Dido is somewhere. No, I didn't say Dido, Alex. The planet Dido is somewhere the Doctor has been to before. So it's for him, it's a revisit.
Mm.
So he notices that something's off, and they separate them, which is always good. Yeah, like Osian said, you got the nod to Susan having been gone, and the performance that Hartnell does is very understated in how he handles Vicky. He probably handles Vicky better than Barbara and Ian. And to be honest with you, that makes a big difference, because up until this point, he's been like the crotchety old geezer, to be honest with you, and they've been like the interface between normal people. So it makes a change for it to be the other way around, and he sort of takes the lead in working this all out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, the story's a bit flimsy, and when you think about it, well, if she was unconscious in the ship and he went off and killed everyone, why has he had to go through making this elaborate story? Because she wouldn't have a fucking clue anyway. He could have just gone back and said, yeah, shit happened and everyone died and we're the only survivor, and that was it. He doesn't need to worry about getting dressed. So he's just obviously got a thing about cosplay. I like how Kokilian looks, to be honest with you. I like the design. I think it's not your stereotypical bug-eyed monster. Okay, it's like a bipedal monster, but it's got an interesting look to it. I think, as an outfit. And yeah, the resolution is a bit weird because you have those weird sort of two people show up at the end.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina.
But you have Hartnell just there. He's like gone off on his own, and he bosses it at the end. So he's sat there and he's waiting for the guy to show up.
Yeah.
And he said, look, the gig's up. I know what this is. This place was a hall of judgment, and you're doing this and doing that. And he goes on the offensive. There's a bit of like physical, fisticuffs going on with a senior gentleman. So, respect is due, to be honest with you. So I like that. I don't think there's a lot of really padding to it, in my opinion. And this is what we would call I think for us, to be honest with you, this is what we would call the cheap filler episode.
Yeah.
In the same way as like, Edge of Destruction is a cheap filler episode in the first season. And it does something new with it. Yeah, it gives us a Susan upgrade, I suppose, for want of a better term. And what I like about it as well is that you see a different side to the Doctor, because he talks about how the inhabitants of the planet value life, and for once it's like Barbara going in all guns blazing and decides to kill someone without the full knowledge of the effect, and she gets tugged on it and said, no, it's someone you didn't listen, you did it regardless of what I was going to do. Whether in intentions were right, she went in without the full knowledge. So in fact, Barbara looks like a bit of an asshole in this.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's as John touched on as well, it's like a really nice introduction to that team without being too bogged down. So if you wanted to put a couple of like short Hartnell bits together, you could get someone to watch that, and they could watch that without knowing anything that has gone before, anything that goes on afterwards, and say, right, this is like a little parcel of what the first Doctor's like, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I shouldn't go back to you, because I obviously I watched it, but I remember when you watched the first part, you sent me a voice note. You're like, Oh, can I just do the new series ones? Because I cannot. And by the second one, you were like,
There
no,
was a
actually,
part, I
it
think
turned
it
me
was
around. It turned me around.
it was when like by the it was towards the end of the first part, I was like, oh, I don't know, this is really for me, I'm not really sure about this. And then for some reason, by the second part, yeah, it really started to hook me again.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't
because I
know.
do have more general positives. I want to say that, like, I think my only negative to this one is that, like you said, Beef, it knows what it wants to do. It knows what the point A to point B is. And the first part, like, it's one of those weird two parts where I actually say if it was like 35 minutes, it would benefit. Because the first part, like the first 10 minutes of them going, we're in the TARDIS. Oh, the doctor wants to go back in the TARDIS. Oh no, so we're going to go out, and then oh no, oh, this has happened. So the doctor has to come back out. And at that point, you're 12 minutes in and nothing's really happened. Apart from that though, as soon as we get going and like everyone said, as soon as you kind of get in that spaceship and it all kind of kicks off, it's a good episode and it's solid, but it yeah.
Something I enjoyed about this, and I don't know if it happens a lot, because obviously this is, but I know it's eventually the reason of Hartnell's like regeneration. Because I know they probably didn't plan this far ahead, but like the fact that the Doctor is quite, at the start he's sleeping, he's basically an old man.
Well yeah.
That's what he is. He forgets things, and he's older basically.
Well obviously this
They
as
show
well is
that a
before
lot.
he's written to be an alien as well. They say he's a human from Earth later on in the episode. By the way, the best kind of carnal setup in any episode, there's an episode called The Gunfighters Osian, where the episode premise is the Doctor has toothache and has to go to the dentist. And that's how the episode starts. That is a legit thing. But no, I agree. I think all the Hartnell stuff is great. It actually is a really good introduction to Hartnell's Doctor because you do get some of the crotchety bits, you get some of the nice bits.
Oh,
You
he's
only get an
lovely when he's
all-round
nice,
Hartnell
isn't he?
performance. And you also like B said, you get him bossing it at the end and kind of taking control and being like, you sneaky bastard. It's rather like Hartnell was the
It,
only Doctor I could see like swearing, but not regularly, but he'd like use a
it,
swear at the
it,
right time.
it's a big thing as well, though, because you're already taking out one of your principal characters of the show, and this is the first change in what over all the years that we've had the show now is the first time that they've tackled it.
Yeah. This was
So
because this was the first companion exit, wasn't it? Or
It's
um
first new companion introduction.
yeah, so there you go. I like the cliffhanger in this one as well. I like the swords. I like how they were playing a game of fucking Wipeout. I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was also quite well done. Obviously, like I said, this is the budget saver, and sometimes these sets can look a bit flimsy. I thought that one was well done. I thought they did look like sharp. It wasn't like, oh no. But my biggest positive of this is that you get so much of the Doctor and Ian together, and when you put those two together, it's dynamite on screen all the time. Like I don't. Ian is incredible. I love Ian so much, but when you get him on his own with Hartnell, you just get this great chemistry, this great kind of like I don't know what you call it, like fun uncle nephew kind of vibe. I don't know how you word it. They're not like dad and son. I
it's
don't know how.
proto Rick and Morty. That's what it is.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just Ian being a bit less of a bitch. But it's really good and really fun. Barbara in this one is written a bit strange for me. She's written to be a bit.
I like the whole morality thing though, of like, you know, there is like a kind of conflict between Vicky and Barbara at the beginning, and it's to the Doctor to be like, come on,
Yeah,
don't like think about it.
yeah. Barbara just kills Vicky's pet. Fair. Doesn't give no
Also,
fucks.
how is Barbara's hair so perfect after falling off a massive cliff? I do not know, but do you know what? That hair
Television.
is something else. So I'm not.
I mean that's basically due to the CFCs that were in aerosol spray cans in the 1950s that destroyed the ozone layer. It killed the planet, but it made your hair stay in one fucking place.
Yeah.
It acted as like a crash helmet when she fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
That's why she didn't. Yeah.
One thing I want to say as well, I think this episode is quite effective at making you believe they are where they are, because considering it is a cheap set episodes and obviously it's a budget saver, there's not much interesting visuals going on, but they actually do a very good job at making you believe that they are in this place, and even the spaceship is believable enough.
Yeah, it's a well-known fact that Dusty Springfield's hair didn't move for 5 years.
Alex, was this your first time watching this episode as well?
Yeah.
When did you know? When did the twist hit you?
When you told me. You told
What?
me there was. You told me there was a
Oh, you
twist.
Oh,
spoiled it
shit.
for him.
Sorry.
Oh,
So I didn't. So I knew there was a twist coming. So
Fuck.
I was like,
Sorry.
you basically were like, oh, I really enjoyed the twist at the end. And I was like, well, no, I know there's a twist at the end.
I thought you watched it, man. Sorry.
No. So I knew there was a twist coming. I didn't know what the twist was though. But I could tell I was agree with this really weird character
Oh,
that's
damn
barely
it.
on screen.
Sorry.
the twist was that Bennett is a nonce.
And it's a filthy nonce. Is he
It
the
was the-
first? Is he the first noncy type character in Doctor Who at this
I
point?
mean, it was the 60s. There were a lot of them about. But
That's a Twitter thread for you there, John. All the Doctor Who nonsense.
I mean, yeah, he must have got.
Yeah, is he the first nonce in Doctor Who?
That's
a
what
good-
that's what I'm
that's a
thinking.
good question.
I reckon. I mean, it seems like he did get the jollies out of like dressing up and just like terrorizing her, and then it's just like, oh no, it's no, oh no, don't tell Cocky Wocky because you know bad shit will happen, and then I'm listening to you when you're in the other room, and then I'm going to come in and do something horrible to you.
I mean,
It's sort of like-
there's
it's a very weird Stockholm syndrome.
there's one or two in the Aztecs that are a bit questionable.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So-
the great thing is, if you think Bennett's bad, wait until the very next story when you get to Nero, who's basically just a fucking sex pest.
Yay! And there's plenty of them around the Doctor Who. Fucking hell. But hello. But yeah, Arsha, to go back to you one more time because he says first Hartnell episode. What do you make of him as?
Oh, I really enjoyed him. I thought
There's
he
a
was
lot of.
brilliant.
I think he's the classic Doctor that a lot of fans struggle with on the first episode, and then more you watch of him, people kind of tend to warm to him more.
I got told he was a fucking grumpy old man,
He
and he
can
wasn't
be.
that in this.
He
And I was
can
like,
be.
he can. I've heard he can, but I was like, do you know what? He showed off all the different emotions of this, and I really enjoyed it.
I think an episode, if you can watch it genuinely, because we watched it at the BFI and also it's really good. It's the Time Meddler. I think that's a really fun Hartnell when you see
That's
all
the
kind
end
of sides.
of this
That's the end of
season,
this
isn't it?
season, yeah. And you kind of see all sides of his character, and you also see a different companion in Stephen as well, who's also very good in there.
When does he come in?
After Ian and Barbara Lee, which is after the chase.
It's the same story. It's the chase. So yeah, he comes in like they leave in the penultimate story of this season, and he comes in. He's introduced in the same story.
Because it's the Time Meddler that they picked for the Tales of the
BFI,
TARDIS, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Tales of the
yes.
TARDIS.
Yes.
yeah,
Because Vicky's in that, isn't she?
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I would genuinely watch the 4-part version because it is really good and it's really fun.
No, yeah.
And also with iPlayer, you can just stop after 2 episodes. You don't have to put the DVD in and go, well, I've got the DVD in now, so I may as well finish it. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can do that. I mean, quick message to certain people on Twitter who complain about classic Doctor Who being long. It's literally made so you can split it into parts and watch it weekly if you want to.
A question about the next episode and how this episode ends. Does them falling and the TARDIS going haywire, does that play into the next episode?
I'm assuming so. I'm not saying
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's how it worked. It was literally done as a weekly serial. So they would have a cliffhanger at the end of a story, and it would feed directly into the next story.
In each one? Oh, clever.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much did that throughout the entire 60s.
I think that's better than what they go to later on because although it gives you closure, I think like part of me was like, oh shit, I want to see what's on the next part. That's like another like a 6-part, I think, and I'm like, no, fuck that. Not right now.
It's something that they do. They do occasionally come back to after the 60s. Say, like stuff like Frontier in Space feeds directly into Planet of the Daleks. And there is like a straight narrative between the two.
And no disrespect to you, John, if you can get through Frontier and Space and you want to keep watching it, fucking hell, fair play. Boring as fuck.
You mean Frontier in Space, or do you mean Colony in Space?
I mean Frontier.
Mug.
Sorry.
I'll accept that about Colony in Space.
I'm not seeing Colony in Space.
I won't accept that about Frontier in Space. It's got
Frontier's the one that is the last one of Roger Delgado, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was one.
But it's got Ogrons, it's got the Master.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that one. It is long, I'll give you that, but it's not like
Oshan,
it wasn't too bad.
to back. I'm gonna because I remember when you watched it and you went, "Fucking hell, this one's boring as hell."
It's long. It
And
is. I know it's not that long, but it
You
is.
literally messaged me saying, "Fuck me, this is
There
boring
were
as
bits
hell."
that I would cut
Don't
from it,
try to
or like
fucking
make
throw
it.
him under the bus
No,
after
but
you've
he's
just
trying to throw me
Yeah.
under the bus and play devil's
Alex.
advocate here.
Alex has been sitting there slagging it off, and then he tries to throw his mate under the bus.
Nah, man,
No,
this.
there were parts
I
that
ain't
bore me.
falling for
Don't
that.
get me
I ain't
wrong.
falling for that shit.
I ain't having this. Oh, Alex, to be fair, it's pretty entertaining if you just skip out.
No, there
3
were
parts.
bits that I really enjoyed out of it. I liked the bit where the only bit that I thought that was strange was it. I think it was either part 2 or part 3, where they start at the jail and they go out of the jail and they go back into the
Part
jail,
3.
and it was like, oh come on, I wanna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the start of this episode where they go out of the TARDIS, back in the TARDIS, out the TARDIS. I thought they go, fuck it, I may as well come out now. Fuck. But yeah, no, I think considering that we're not going on tangents, I think we quite, although this is a very short podcast, I do apologize. I think we kind of rinsed everything from this we really can. Unless anyone wants to talk about anything. Because again,
Well, I mean, the only
Sounds-
other thing is that I want to talk about, we can't.
Well, you know, the one thing you got to say is that the Doctor doesn't actually see Kikili until the end. The only person who's seen it is William and Barbara, so they can't really describe it to the Doctor when they see the Doctor. So it does keep the mystery going from that perspective as well.
yeah.
So it does do that. I mean, you know, we're watching something from, you know, the 60s through the prism of where we are now and everything like that. But I think for where it was at the time, it's still quite a good sort of, you know, locked room like type story as
It's
well.
breezy. It's breezy, and I think it's breezy and it's easy to watch. Like, it's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not bad at all. I would say I prefer Edge of Destruction, and the reason I'm comparing the two is because they're kind of like similar episodes in some sense. I think Edge of Destruction's far better, but Edge of Destruction is my favorite Hartnells anyway, so it's like no dice. But like I thought this was fine. I thought it was like just fun. But like normally it's very rare that I have very lacking opinions on episode Doctor Who, but that's why I just don't really care about, like, it's all fine. None of it was like, oh, this is really, really bad. And there was very few parts I was like, this is really good. But it's just entertaining. It's just Doctor Who. It's 45 minutes of solid Doctor Who. You watch it, you meet a new character. It's fine.
Yeah, you don't walk away from it afterwards saying, "Oh no, do you know what? No, that was a bit lackluster." You actually come away from it and you do say, "Yeah, Hartnell's really good in this."
Yeah, I didn't walk away from it anyway, mate. How dare you? You know, but no, yeah, I think Hartnell. I think it's a good thing that the second part is better than the first, because you do end up leaving it going, actually, that wasn't as bad as I potentially was thinking it was when I was 15 minutes in and nothing really happened yet. You actually leave it going, that was all right. No, like a solid comedy, not one that's going to blow your socks off, but one that by the end of it you go, I laughed a few times. It did the job for which I'd paid.
The companions don't solve anything in this. The Doctor solves it all on their own.
And he's barely in it for much in it, and that shows how good he is. He's there for like 10 minutes in the major plot, and he goes, fuck this shit, let's get out of it.
I think it's a great way of introducing Vicky, to be fair.
Yeah,
as
she's
well.
great.
And like I said, I do love the scene where they explain that they're from the past. And she's like, well, that would make you over 300 years old.
Yeah, I think it's 550 actually.
It's well under.
I was always going to do that, but I know that John's good with numbers. I can't keep going for number ones. I can't just let him like storm away with it. We got to rein it in. But like, yeah, I think as well. I think we're all in agreement. Obviously, Arshan, you don't really have an opinion yet, but I think in terms of Vicky is better than Susan, right? I think all three of us would say that. Yeah, in terms of just in general.
Yeah, I mean, you get the impression she wants to be there.
Beef as a fan of the era.
Well, to say it on the strength of this, it's hard because
I'm just talking in general.
It's hard because I do like Susan. Yeah, Susan was whiny and everything like that, but Susan had an excuse to be whiny because she was, the Doctor's granddaughter. So it's a different dynamic.
I would have loved the version where she had magical powers or some shit that she was promised at the very start. That would have been fucking dope.
Yeah, there's bits where you've got to remember there's bits where she'd like boss out something that she shouldn't know. Do you know what I mean?
And she bagged at the end of her reign. She she got with the bloke. Very happy. Can't complain. But yeah, I think it's time for scores on the doors, then, boys. For this one, I'm going to let you go first, B Patrick. So maybe you start last. I'll let you score first.
I'll give it a 7.25. It's solid. It's compact, but it still has moments of true elegance. Yeah. And I think with what then becomes a regular to the cast, you're adding just 2 people to a 3-person team for that whole episode, and it's carried by 5 people, apart from the 2 at the end, obviously, who don't say shit.
The Doctor goes, they're not going to allow that thing to park on the planet. They're going to get fucked up.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they go in and just trash the receiver at the end. So so the rescue ship goes up. Fuck, dead, bro. And then just like
John, what are you giving this out of 10?
6.5.
Osh?
Probably 6.
Randomize the time, boys. Unfortunately for you, Oshan, there are no RTD stories in the mix this week.
That's fine.
Sorry, my friend. It's 11, 12, and 13. So who would you like, Oshan? I always ask this to John back in the day. We're going to ask you.
I want to revisit a lot of Capaldi now.
We're going to find out.
Hope it's one of those.
We're not revisiting Capaldi. It's the girl who waited. There we go.
Cool.
What's our thoughts on that before we go into it? Yeah?
Great, isn't it?
I like that one.
2 versions of Karen. I'm very happy. Beef?
I've liked Smith more on rewatch than I have on an original broadcast. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to watch this one again, I think, to be honest with you.
It's just, that one is kind of just before it all goes a bit shit.
Yeah, you got the God complex, isn't it?
I like the God complex, man.
No, I said that the God complex is good,
Yeah.
and then after that, you get Corn. It's like, oh God, we're here. And then you got Wedding of the Song.
But yeah, from Night Terrors to God Complex, those 3 are quite solid.
Whoa, Night Terrors, man. I was in that.
I quite like it.
I was in that, apparently.
You were.
Yeah. The best thing about that is that Daniel Mays plays a character called Alex as well, which is like a nice little thing that's going on in that episode. But yeah, sorry about the way there was no guest reviews this week, but I didn't tweet it out. I've been taking a bit of a social media break, so I just didn't do it. But next week we're back.
I tweeted it out and no cunt replied. So you can all fuck off.
But again,
they obviously fear black and white.
But you can, of course, follow Oshan at the Oshan man. I said Oshan.gt last week. I fucked it. You didn't pull me up on it. You didn't pull me up on it. It's at the Oshan man.
I don't tweet anyways. So
you can follow John at johnboy_cook. You can follow Beef at the Beefhead. Beef.
Yes, hello.
Any tweets this week?
Have I tweeted anything this week?
I don't know. You don't retweet the podcast. That's my biggest upset.
Sorry. I should do. Yeah, no, my tweets have been light on the ground.
While Beef's looking this up, I would advise everybody to check the hashtag Little Lidster.
Big thing.
Quality Gallifrey 1 content.
Big thing.
Featuring friend of the show, Joe Lidster, or his life-size cardboard cutout.
Yeah. Amazing. It's very good fun. Channel stuff. Me and John won't be doing anything for Elimination Chambers, so there won't be any reviews kind of on that. We don't do the B-pay reviews, we only do the big ones. Also, High School Musical 2 is coming out in the near future. Osh hasn't seen what's gone on so far, and it's very good. So it's in the factory. It's way. Apart from that, we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Unless they major Doctor Who news, and we need to do like an emergency podcast, and we hold the brakes and go, shit, there's been a trailer or something. There won't be. But if there is,
by the time we record the next one, I'll have seen Billy again.
So would I. Oh, there'll be a vlog. There'll be a vlog.
And I'll have seen some cartoon Doctor Who. Bang, bang, bang.
There'll be a vlog. I want to vlog this one because I'm actually meeting people and not just sat there by myself. I can actually do a vlog.
Are you gonna flash a wallet around in front of a homeless man again on your vlog?
No, I'm gonna do something else that's really controversial. I can't believe I did that. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't until I think it was it you, John, or was it Connor? I can't remember who it was. It was one of these. And what they put it in the chat, and he was like,
It was me
Alex,
that
why have you
pointed it
waved
out.
in front of a homeless man? I think I just replied with, oh, fuck. I don't think it was any of the content. It was just so unintentional. But yeah, there'll be a vlog. There'll be a lot of stuff going on that weekend. BFI as well, so that'll be fun. But I haven't really vlogged too much of that. But I'll try and get a drunk beef in it for 2
Go to watch
seconds.
the PlayStation 2 Celestial Toymaker animation.
I ain't gonna ever go at anyone.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be so much fun.
I can do a better job.
I
So
will
I'm
be
just
there
gonna
in the
say
evening. I will be missing the animation, and I'll be honest, I am not gutted.
that. Yeah. So yeah, I'll try and get some drunk beef in the vlog just for shit.
Oh, there'll be interesting things that will come from watching that.
Yeah. Anyway,
if you're lucky, Rob's going to be down as well, so you can have a word with Doctor Who animator Rob Ritchie and get his instant opinion of what he'll have
I mean, we
witnessed
would
that
we
day.
would point out at this point, although Beef says Doctor Who animator, Robin Ritchie is in no way attached to the Celestial Toymaker project.
Yeah,
But we would hate to give that impression.
yeah.
But,
He's there like me to bear witness.
yeah. On that
You know,
note,
I'm not going to name anybody that is involved in the Celestial Toymaker project because they're not here to defend themselves.
we'll just blame Connor Allen. That's what you do. What you do whenever something.
Hey,
No.
They can't
My-
blame Kieran Hyman. Like, surely any Celestial Toymaker content essentially has come about through pressure from.
Hey, it might be really different. It might be really cool. It might be like Nicktoons in the 90s and everything like that.
Jesus Christ. On that note, please do like, comment, and subscribe, everyone. We'll be back soon. Post Celestial Toymaker PFI. And I'm sure we'll talk about I'll let Beef talk about what he's seen next week or next time the show's on. And yeah, until then, we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Good night, God bless. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. R.I.P. Big Keith.